We inhabit a world ravaged by 40 years of neoliberalism. Debt accumulation and unfair terms of exchange, multinational tax evasion. States no longer have the capacity to really deliver on health, education, and social protection. 10% of the world's population lives in destitution, but 1% of the world's population has as much wealth as the rest of us. If this is our starting point, then facing the challenges of mobilizing global public investment call for different ways of thinking. First, we need new metrics. We measure what we treasure, and what gets measured gets addressed. GDP per capita is a very flawed metric for allocating aid or determining social protection. And we know that we can change this. When the need for new metrics and new data is presented, we can create that new data effectively. A second challenge is we need to persuade high-income countries that this is in the interests of their constituencies. Lack of social protection is actually driving political instability and mass migration. It is far, far more cost-effective to fund social protection than to resettle mass influxes of migrants continuously. Third, of course, is where the money will actually come from. We still need to think outside the box. What if we revisit financial transactions tax in the light of a new motion for a UN tax convention? Why not collectively agree to use the now over $1.3 trillion a year that go into subsidizing fossil fuels with taxes to devote that to social protection? What about expanding the use of SDRs, of special drawing rights, that were once intended as liquidity holdovers, crisis means, but in a world of permanent and poly-crisis, they need to be made fit for purpose. One of the great innovations of global public investment is that it is investment. It is long-term investment. Of course, we'll need surge financing for crises, which should be aligned with our long-term investments. And that's something that we learned, especially during the pandemic. The independent panel on pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response said repeatedly that the countries that fared best had built-in flexibilities, so people who were sick could stay home from work. Setting up institutionalized priority setting processes, for example, with robust civil society protection that is a major element of global public investment, and also institutionalization that permits accountability, because we saw during the pandemic how much money was wasted in abuse. But those have to be established in ordinary times with long-term prospects ahead of us. They can't be set up during crises. The best way to set up GPI is a robust, long-term financing facility which allows for surge spending.